Welcome to Climate Watch Shorts, where we examine the local impact of climate change. Agriculture is one of Canada's most important industries, whether it be producing food for local shelves or exporting it worldwide. Last year, this industry employed over 2.3 million Canadians and contributed a massive $150 billion to our GDP. But as a result of climate change, this critical sector is facing new challenges that will impact everyone: farmers, retailers, and you, the consumer. So, what's going to happen to Canadian agriculture as global temperatures continue to rise?
Canada's vast regions are all well known for their own sets of produce. However, Canada's seasonal weather patterns create a shorter growing season compared to other countries. Canada's climate is warming up at twice the rate of the rest of the world. This increases the length of the growing seasons, but at what cost?
Definitely changes in weather patterns in line with what was predicted for sure. And I think it's sort of across the board. The heat, the intensity of storms.
While longer growing seasons might seem like a benefit at first glance, they come with significant drawbacks. Hotter temperatures are allowing for more pests, invasive species, and diseases to thrive in farms and gardens.
Important concept there is that certain species really wouldn't be able to survive or spread unless the weather conditions are right. So that's where the climate change part can come in, where it's kind of setting the stage for just to make it that much easier if a species is introduced. It's just that much easier to spread.
Sleeper species are invasive organisms already present in an ecosystem but limited by unfavorable conditions like climate. Sleeper species are a growing concern across Canada, where changing climates are creating ideal conditions for pests that were previously kept in check. One example is the Cyrax wasp, which was introduced to Canada in 2005. So far, it has been restricted to parts of Ontario and Quebec, but with warming temperatures, this pest could expand its range, threatening Canada's critical pine plantations.
For the more increased intensity of storms that we are seeing now, I think it is due to that, yes. And I think we are on track to start seeing that a little bit more. And it is getting people talking, so that's good, but it's unfortunate. And of course, we're seeing that that's being an issue with agriculture, which we'll talk about a little bit more, and just infrastructure in all ways as well, and people's well-being.
The effects of climate change are not uniform across Canada. Different regions experience varied challenges. For example, Ontario, bordered by four of the Great Lakes, is experiencing heavy rainfall and much more flooding. This disrupts planting schedules and damages crops. Meanwhile, in the prairies, rising temperatures and decreased rainfall are creating tough conditions for farming. The lack of consistent water sources and prolonged dry weather is degrading the soil, reducing its ability to retain moisture and nutrients. Crops like wheat and canola, staples of Canada's export market, are particularly vulnerable to these changes. Wildfires are also getting more common in the area.
Canada has long been familiar with the concept of 100-year storms. Massive weather events so extreme that they are statistically expected to occur only once a century. But with climate change, these storms are no longer living up to their name. They're happening more frequently, with devastating consequences for communities and industries, especially agriculture. One such event was the derecho that swept through Ontario in May of 2022. In just a matter of minutes, its powerful winds tore through forests and farmland, leaving destruction in its wake. For John Tomery and his brothers at Pepperlaw Creek Farms, the storm hit particularly hard. The derecho destroyed a rented bush and took out around 11,000 maple taps, which were essential for the syrup production. Global warming can also help the maple syrup industry, is that right?
Yeah, but I would just, even to sum it up, I'd be even a little bit more agnostic than that. Like, I would just say that climate change doesn't really affect our yields or the quality of our syrup. However, it does affect the way we need to operate, and that just means that our season might start a little bit sooner, but doesn't necessarily impact our yields or the quality of our products in any way.
Yeah, okay, got it. Thank you.
Climate change's detriments to the agriculture industry will damage the economy. A decrease in crop production due to a lack of resources like water and quality soil will cause food scarcity, which will raise the prices of groceries and increase the cost of living. Since agriculture plays such a crucial role in Canada's economy, providing jobs and contributing to exports, the stakes couldn't be higher. Climate change doesn't just affect farmers. While it may affect some more than others, its damage will be felt by all Canadians. We need to adopt more sustainable farming practices to prevent soil degradation, conserve resources, and reduce GHG emissions as an adaptation. To combat the effects of climate change, Canada must switch away from non-renewable energy sources, enforce more laws to reduce GHG emissions while still putting Canadians first, and we must all promote and educate others about the effects and prevention about global warming. Farmers are doing their part, but solutions require collaboration at every level, from local governments to individual consumers. Our economy and the food on our table depends on our farms, so what can we do to ensure food stability tomorrow?